Whenever I set out to record a poem by Gocho Versolari, and when time and obligations allow, the author grants me an interview. I should clarify that Gocho does not like to talk about the recitation of his poems. He explained to me that the term takes him back to declamation, where excessive voice projection and artificiality distort the original meaning of the verses. The day I recorded Dressed as a Bird, Gocho's shamanic poem you are about to hear, I met the poet in an isolated cabin deep in the forest. There, he welcomed me wearing a cotton-knit caftan with adjustable back ties and three-quarter sleeves, adorned with feathers both on the front and the back. I must confess, Gocho looked like an enormous bird. During our conversation, he reminded me that in his practice of mythical vision, wearing a garment like that connected him to the events in his journeys. Wearing this robe in the ordinary world reminds me of my upcoming transformation into a bird, the poet said. In mythical vision, it's possible to transmute the body and lose oneself in a flock of birds. There are certain realms of the intermediate world that only accept birds. We shared a stew of white beans that Gocho had prepared, and afterward, we left the cabin to walk around the area. Gocho put on a bird mask that complemented his caftan, and we stopped when we reached a cliff. The mountainside we stood on dropped steeply, and below lay fields of various colors. Then Gocho danced for me, a complex choreography that mimicked the flight of a bird. I knew it was meant to create the atmosphere, to infuse my reading of the poem with the power of birds in an environment of zoanthropy. I recorded the poem upon returning to the cabin, and, as had happened with other poems by Gocho, I must admit that the ambiance and the staging allowed me to understand the verses more deeply, and I believe I delivered them with the strength and intensity they deserved. Dressed as a Bird poem by Gocho Versolari. Dressed as a bird, I summon you to my body from the land of the dead. Beak, clouds, bones, sky. My steel caftan sings with this music that reaches the stars. Dawn will see your bare feet descend the hill, and you will enter through my feathered chest, wander through my forests, my avenues of crawling silence, and these silky paths of the inner flesh. You return from the underworld. I feel your steps in my belly, on my hips, in the coveted blush of my desire. The morning ripples like the ghost of a lover in the faint universe of dreams. The music ends. Dressed as a bird, I return, a desert, to my cot.